Hi, everyone. Welcome to Google's Meet the Expert session. My name is Rodney Ip, and I'm one of the global product leads working on Performance Max. I'm really excited to be here today and talk about our newest campaign type in Google Ads called Performance Max. We've been launched since November last year, and so far we've gotten some really good feedback. So we wanted to take the time today to make sure that we talk about how our customers can maximize their performance with Performance Max. So I'm joined today by a group of global product leads that all work on Performance Max campaigns. We have Lauren, who focuses specifically on new customer acquisition, Nicole, who actually represents our lead gen customers, Amelie from online sales, Megan from local campaigns and PMax store visits, Carly from our insights team, and Priya, who works alongside me in our advertiser tools team on Performance Max. So we have a really exciting lineup and plenty of speakers today to get you across all the best practices of how you can maximize your performance with Performance Max. So on the agenda today, we wanted to spend some time talking about Performance Max and a bit of the motivation behind why we created this campaign. As well as that, we'll hear from all of our global product lead marketing objective experts on the best practices for the different types of customers that are using Performance Max. So lead gen, online sales, and store goals. We also wanted to talk about more granular best practices of how you can get more out of your Performance Max campaigns. And then we also want to show you a little bit about our roadmap and Performance Max recent enhancements. And then we'll do some Q&A at the end. So the intro to Performance Max and a bit about the motivation of why we created this campaign. So over the last couple of years, the economy and the world has definitely changed a lot. The pandemic definitely forced a lot of our consumers to change their consumer behavior. So a lot of people were working from home and a lot of people were doing things digitally. So with this change, we saw a lot of increase in the way customers discover, research, and purchase. And there was also an ever-growing number of channels that they would touch in order to inform their purchase decisions. So we found a trend that it was really hard for our customers to keep up with these changes. And more customers were open to turning to automation to make sure that they're reaching their customers effectively and at scale. And a stat that we found actually from our Think with Google and how intent is defined in the marketing funnel, we found that some purchases actually have 500 or more digital touch points before a purchase. So it's really hard for our marketers to keep up with this pace of change and the amount of digital touch points that a lot of consumers are touching before they make a purchase. So with this in mind, we wanted to create a way in Google Ads for our customers to capture this demand. So the main problem we're trying to solve is how can we best use automation within Google Ads to maximize results for your business amongst this new digital economy. So our answer for this was Performance Max campaigns. So Performance Max campaigns are a campaign type that actually runs across all Google Ads channel and uses automation to make sure that we're saving our customers time and making sure that we're maximizing the customer's goals as well. We're a really unique campaign in that we're goals first. So there's been a lot of campaigns in Google Ads 20 years history. Sometimes we've developed campaigns based on channel or maybe even campaigns based on formats. And Performance Max is a campaign that actually puts your goals, business goals, front and center. And we prioritize driving goals above all of the other sort of segments that you can target in Google Ads. So this was crucial in order for our engineers to create something where we can maximize performance from Google Ads because it is purely focused on goals above all else. So one way that we did this was that we made sure that Performance Max runs across all Google Ads channels. So it runs across YouTube, display, search, the Discover feed, Gmail, and Maps. So wherever your customers are and wherever they're likely to convert, we will serve across those channels. And automatically, on the opposite hand, if a particular piece of inventory isn't predicted to perform well, then Performance Max will not target that. So the key benefits of Performance Max is, maximizing performance, finding more converting customers for your goals. Because Performance Max does have full auction visibility across those channels that I just touched on, we're able to always target the next best auction that is most likely to drive the conversion or goal. And the second benefit is that we can drive more value from your budget as well. So Performance Max is is automated, but it does allow you to steer the automation to maximize the value that you drive from Google Ads. So we now allow customers to place different values on their different conversion goals. So one example of that is, let's say you're a retailer with a brick and mortar shop, but you also sell online. Maybe you get more value from driving customers into your shop. So now you can, with Performance Max, you can tell Google Ads that store visit goals are more important to your business or more valuable to your business than website purchases, and Performance Max will automatically try and optimize towards that and drive more value for your marketing budget. We also hear a lot of feedback on automated campaigns that it's not transparent enough in terms of how the automation is working. So with this in mind, Performance Max is fully compatible with a new tool called Insights, which is now live in the Google Ads front end of Performance Max. And the aim of this tool is actually to provide more transparency on what Performance Max is doing. So it will tell us which audiences it's targeting, which assets are working well as auction insights as well. And Carly from our insights team today will elaborate more on this new exciting tool. And then number 4, Performance Max is using the best of Google Ads automation. So it is allowing our customers to take advantage of our newest features like audience signals and conversion value rules, which some of our global product leads will run through today. And we will make sure that we touch on all these new features to make sure that all of our Performance Max users today get the best of these features. So now I'm going to pass to Priya, another global product lead working on Performance Max, to run through some positioning.
Thank you, Rodney. So like Rodney mentioned, if your goals are to drive leads, sales to your website, or foot traffic to your store, Performance Max campaigns are a great complement to your present Google Ads strategy. To drive other goals such as awareness or consideration or app installs or hotel bookings, continue to use Google Ads solutions that support those goals. Performance Max wouldn't be a good fit at this time for those goals specifically. We recommend maximizing your performance on search campaigns first by making sure they follow best practices, such as combining smart bidding with broad match and responsive search ads. Performance Max campaigns have access to all Google Ads inventory and most ad formats. And so adding it to your account ensures that you are able to use the very best of automation to reach more converting users, no matter where they are. We are upgrading Smart Shopping and local campaigns to Performance Max this year. So if you're looking to set up new campaigns for those goals, feel free to set up a Performance Max campaign. And then you can continue to increase performance on any specific channel or any specific ad format, or reach very specific audiences by growing and optimizing your current video display discovery campaigns that you may have already optimized. Now, when it comes to most campaign types, Performance Max campaigns can serve in their place if it has the better ad rank at auction time and is likely to get you the next conversion. However, keyword search campaigns and Performance Max campaigns interact a bit differently. So, Performance Max campaigns do not use keywords for targeting themselves. And when eligible for the same auctions as any search campaigns that do use keywords, Performance Max campaigns do not trump keywords that are identical to what the end user is searching for. Or, in other words, what I mean by that is search campaign keywords will always trump Performance Max on search terms that are identical to a keyword whenever they are eligible. Performance Max campaigns may show or may serve ads on a query for which you do not have an identical keyword, or you have an identical keyword but it's in a different campaign, or in a different account, and if that keyword isn't eligible to show for some reason for that particular auction. Now, a reason an identical keyword may not be eligible to show is if the search campaign was low enough on budget that it was limited by budget at the time of the auction, or if your geo targeting, your audience targeting, your ad scheduling, or any of the restrictions that you have in place for your search campaign prevented it from serving in that particular auction. Now, if the user query is not identical to an existing eligible search keyword, then the campaign or the ad group with or the ad with the higher ad rank will serve. In other words, the ad that's likely to get you that next conversion will serve. Now, we can see this illustrated in an example on this slide and to make it much clearer. If the user query is A6 shoes, for example, and there's an existing keyword in a search campaign that's identical, in this case, A6 shoes, then regardless of match type, the search campaign is preferred for that auction. However, if the user query was A6 10X shoes, which is not identical to an existing keyword in your account, the campaign would be picked based on ad rank. The benefit of running Performance Max campaigns in your account, based on internal studies that we ran, and showed that advertisers that used Performance Max campaigns in their account see an average increase of 13% total incremental conversions at a similar cost per action. So what we're seeing is even when advertisers have channel-specific campaigns running in their account, Performance Max campaigns can drive additional uplift from expanding to additional inventory and by using cross-channel learning and automation to find you conversions that you would have otherwise missed based on the campaigns that you're running in your account. Now, with that, let's go over some setup best practices for Performance Max campaigns in general. First and foremost, goals are what the campaign uses for targeting and optimization. So it's critical that you optimize to the right goals and use conversion values where possible if you're optimizing to multiple goals. So what that does is that it tells the algorithm what the relative importance of each of your campaign goals is. Second, on setting budgets and targets, we recommend setting a budget that you would expect to get a reasonable conversion volume from. And then if you would like to optimize to a target CPA or a target ROAS, then begin by setting targets that are close to your account average to begin with. We do provide performance forecasts in the UI today. So when you're setting up the campaign, it can help provide guidance in terms of what the headroom for that particular campaign is given your location and your language settings. Although Performance Max campaigns use automation to reach your goals, we strongly recommend that you add audience signals to significantly speed up the process of identifying the types of users that are likely to convert for you. And you may have business insights or insights from having run other campaigns in the past in terms of what users are the target audience for this type of tactic. And so we recommend adding your data like customer match lists or custom audiences to inform the campaign. The setting called URL expansion, which when turned on, can help drive maximum coverage on relevant search queries. So what this setting helps you do is show up on additional searches that have a higher likelihood of converting or leading to conversions and drives traffic to the most appropriate landing pages dynamically based on whatever the end user is searching for. And it also uses landing page content to dynamically customize your ad copy so the ad is most relevant to what the user is searching for. And of course, you can choose to exclude certain landing pages from your website when you have the setting turned on, in case you did not want to drive traffic to portions of your domain. Last but certainly not the least, a critical part of your campaign are your assets. So with Performance Max campaigns, you only have to provide assets in the recommended formats, text, image, and video, and specifications. So have a long and a short headline, provide videos and multiple orientations, provide high quality images in varying sizes, etc. And the campaign will automatically assemble those assets into applicable ad formats and show the most relevant one to the user. The more assets you provide, the more ad formats the system can generate, and the more inventory you will be eligible to appear on. you can use ad strength as an indicator of how well your asset groups are optimized. On that note, I should touch on asset groups. So asset groups are where you can group assets that relate to the same theme and add audience signals that are most relevant to that theme or to those assets. So say if you were selling two different types of products or services on your website, like ski jackets and ski goggles, for example, and have creative assets that are specific to those offerings, you can create two separate asset groups and provide audience signals that are a good fit for each of those asset groups. So with that, we've reviewed the general best practices for setting up your first Performance Max campaign. For the next section and more insights on marketing objective-based best practices, I'm going to turn this over to Nicole.
Thanks, Priya. So now we're going to start with going into our marketing objective-specific content, starting with lead generation. So to help people connect with your business in more ways, we've built lead-focused campaigns in Performance Max. For this marketing objective, we use your goals, creative assets, offline conversions, and audiences to optimize your budget across Google channels to drive high-quality leads at scale. Performance Max brings together the best of Google's formats to drive high-quality leads. For lead gen customers, we have a unique format called lead form extensions that allow users to submit leads directly within an ad unit. From a single campaign, you can give customers easier ways to submit leads and call you directly from an ad or from your website. You can create just one lead form, and Performance Max will tailor the format to best match the inventory your ad is being served on. There are over 2,500 pre-vetted questions you can select from, and we've recently launched a feature to suggest a question directly within the UI if the question you would like is not available. Currently, lead forms now show on Search, the YouTube home feed, and YouTube in-stream. Later this year, we're expanding to Gmail. This feature also optimizes for additional search inventory that you might be missing on your core search campaigns. Performance Max should be complementary to your primary lead gen campaigns. We recommend that advertisers continue running their primary campaigns, and Performance Max should be used when you're ready to expand your reach. When setting up your campaigns with Performance Max, we've outlined a few lead gen specific best practices, which we'll be sharing as a follow-up. A few that I want to highlight specifically are for measurement. Our best practice is to use offline conversion import, or OCI, to tell Google what quality means to your business by sharing back qualified leads offline from your CRM. On the creative side, we advise being direct with lead forms. Creative and call to action should either direct users to your website to fill out a form or have users fill out a form directly from the Google Ads ad unit using lead form ads. And to filter out low-quality leads and spam leads, we recommend using qualifying questions and friction, such as reCAPTCHA, on your site within lead forms. On the quality side, we recommend using appropriate brand suitability controls based on your needs, such as sensitive content or specific placements. And importantly, value-based bidding. We recommend using value-based bidding if you track lead values or value different leads differently. We recommend assigning different conversion values and using TROAS or max conversion value bidding. You can also use conversion value rules to adjust conversion values based on geo, audiences, or device. Now, I'll end this section with a case study from Camping World. Camping World is an RV retailer based in the US, and they added Performance Max to their existing campaigns on search, display, and video to drive online leads for potential new customers. With the addition of Performance Max, Camping World saw a 6% increase in new high-quality leads at a CPA 29% lower than average. As a result, Performance Max is now part of their permanent marketing efforts. And now I'm going to hand it over to Amelie.
The online sales. So online sales is for all advertisers that are trying to sell online. So it could be for retailers having a feed, or even for advertisers who don't have a feed yet. So there are some best practices. So you can take overall the same best practices that Priya already explained earlier, but some others dedicated to online sales. So first and foremost, the creatives. So obviously Priya already explained that, but it's really important for online sales because consumers look to visual sources for online inspiration, and especially where they are tending to buy something online. So we do recommend to use as many visual assets that you may have to expand the performance of Performance Max. In terms of promotions, we know that you might have like a seasonality or different type of promotions. So that we do recommend is to prepare and start the campaign 2 to 3 weeks in advance to make sure that Performance Max will learn from it and will be optimized toward your goal. So you can use as many assets as you want, refresh your creatives, and be sure to focus on your sales. And then the last thing, but the most important, is search. Make sure to always run Performance Max in parallel to the search keyword campaigns. So for now, Performance Max is not going to replace search. So what we do recommend is to optimize your search campaign with the bidding strategy and with RSA, and to use Performance Max as a complementary. By doing so, you will get the best of your conversions and making sure that you will have the best performance as well. So as you know, Smart Shopping campaign will migrate to Performance Max in 2022. Actually, since in April, you can actually start upgrading your Smart Shopping campaign to Performance Max. So by doing so, we see that an average increase of 12% in conversion value has the same or better return on ad spend by using Smart Shopping campaign on Performance Max. If you want to know more about this migration, we invite you to the next session that will be dedicated to Smart Shopping campaign in Performance Max. So here we have a good example of a client that used Performance Max. It's called SumUp in Brazil. So SumUp is a global financial and payment technology company that is using mobile point of sales. So during the pandemic, it was really challenging to find more growth. And then they decided to try Performance Max alongside the other type of campaigns. By doing so, they increase the sale across account by 12%, and they also lower the CPA across account by 83%. So that is a really good example that Performance Max works for all online type of online sales. Could be financial, could be media entertainment, it could be even be CPG clients. And I will let over to Megan for the next session.
Awesome. Thanks, Emily. Next, we'll review Performance Max for store goals, or Performance Max campaigns optimizing exclusively to any combination of offline conversions, which includes store visits, Google hosted contacts, direction clicks, and soon store sales. Performance Max for store goals is a campaign type that drives more customers to your storefront. So if you have a physical location where your customers come in to do business with you, Performance Max for store goals will drive customers to your locations, whether you sell food, clothes, cars, offer financial services, or sell your products through partner retail locations, for example. So how do we do this for your business? First and foremost, with simplicity through Performance Max. In Performance Max for store goals, you can upload your ad creative, choose the physical locations you'd like to target, and set a daily budget. From there, Performance Max for store goals takes care of the rest for you. It uses machine learning to create creative placements across our available channels and optimize the campaigns, showing your strongest performing creative to drive store visits, reaching the right audience at the right time. Globally, we've noticed that omni-channel customers are highly valuable, spending more than e-com only shoppers. And Store Goals helps your business to get in front of those high-value customers with every ad impression. Finally, we optimize towards offline actions, helping your business hit your offline marketing objectives, maximizing impact across channels. If your business has physical locations, you can benefit from testing Performance Max for store goals. Performance Max for store goals makes it possible for you to reach your customers throughout the consumer journey. Each format is dynamically designed to drive the best possible performance for each platform. Customers may be performing a search for coffee nearby, and the example coffee crumbs comes up as a part of the local search results. This is different inventory than what is available on traditional search ads, as it's centered around the local search results in the local unit. You don't need to pick which keywords to show on. We do that for you based on what we know to be very high intent searches to go to locations. Perhaps your customer is in their office and they pull up Google Maps. Now they can put an actual location to those previous ads seen by seeing your pin featured nearby. All Performance Max for store goals formats link to your business profile, which you can also show locally focused ads on. Your customer may also be looking at content on the web or other apps later on in their consumer journey. And if this is part of the Google Display Network, we'll be able to show them creative that looks like the example shown on the slide here, with the closest locations featured again. And finally, your customer may be watching videos on YouTube or catching up on their email, and we'll be able to show the ad we believe if they were likely to visit your stores. And the ads featured on YouTube and Gmail channels are created with the YouTube URLs that you upload in the asset group creation process and the image links as well. You can also use Performance Max for store goals to digitize your circulars by applying your business data feed. Once the business data feed's applied, your key in-store items will be prioritized by selecting the top items. So we usually recommend 5 to 8, and your ads can serve with local products promoted across display, the business profile, YouTube, and Gmail. And finally, just wanted to share an example of the best practices being applied in a real scenario. Sensodyne wanted to influence offline sales of their product among customers who were using Google to plan their trips to stores. During their initial Performance Max for store goals test, they were able to reach 100 million potential shoppers and measure over 3 million store visits among those exposed shoppers. They're now planning to make Performance Max for store goals a part of their everyday digital strategy as a result. If you're interested in learning more about Performance Max for store goals, join us at our 2 p.m. session, as Amelie mentioned earlier, and we'll also be reviewing the upgrade from local campaigns to Performance Max. So next, handing it over to my teammate Lauren to review new customer acquisition.
Great. Thanks, Megan. So in this next section, myself and my colleagues, Carly and Priya, are going to review how you can get more out of your Performance Max campaigns by using a few features and enhancements. So the additional features and enhancements that we have available in Performance Max today that you can take advantage of are the new customer acquisition goal, the insights page, and then also attribution reports. So first we'll dive into the new customer acquisition goal. So the new customer acquisition goal launched to general availability in Performance Max in May. With this goal, you can optimize for new customers in addition to maximizing performance. So if you are keen to acquire new customers to your business, this would be a great goal for you to leverage. The new customer acquisition goal is available for both the online sales and lead gen marketing objectives in Performance Max today. So based on what your marketing objective is, you can opt into one of the 2 modes that we have available for the new customer acquisition mode to enable you to target new customers. So the first mode that we have is the all customer mode, and this allows you to bid higher for new customers than existing. And this works with value-based bidding. And the second mode that we have is the new customer only mode, which allows you to only bid for new customers. This mode works with both value-based and cost-based bidding. So you would select one of the two modes based on your primary objectives of how you want to acquire new customers. And you're probably wondering how we actually know if a customer is new to your business. So there are 3 ways that we are able to detect if a customer is new to your business. The first is our auto detection method, which is our out-of-the-box solution. And this is based on the conversion data in your Google Ads account. And this essentially tells us when we look back at a 540-day look back window, if someone has converted with your business. The second is the customer match audience list method. And this is based on the customer lists that you are uploading into your Google Ad accounts. Though it's not required, it's highly recommended for us to be as accurate as possible when we are detecting a new customer, but also future-proof your strategy from a privacy perspective. And lastly, this is the third way that we have available to be able to detect a new customer is using the self-reporting tag. This is based on a Google tag that's piping in your audience data into your Google Ads account in real time. Although this is a higher level of effort, this is the method in which we can be the most accurate in detecting if a customer is new or existing to your business. And I'm going to end this section by just sharing a case study with one of our online sales advertisers, Luxury Escapes. They are a travel package company, and they've been using Performance Max since its launch last year. And last quarter, they opted into the new customer acquisition goal to achieve their new customer revenue growth goals. The campaign itself helped Luxury Escapes increase their new customer revenue by 45%, alongside increasing their ROAS by 21% and overarching decreasing their cost per sale by 35%. And they compared this to their standard Performance Max campaigns. So if you're interested, the new customer acquisition goal is available for most of our advertisers today. So we'll share at the end how you can get the most out of your campaigns by using this goal. Now I will pass it over to Carly to cover insights.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lauren. And so hi, everyone. My name is Carly, and as Lauren mentioned, I'm here representing the Insights product team for today's session. So traditional Google Ads campaigns have relied on you as advertisers mining through data-heavy reports in order to get insights to understand and improve your campaign performance. This requires time and expertise to monitor, analyze, and translate all of this data into a set of insights. Performance Max is a campaign type that doesn't require the same amount of manual optimizations. And as a result of that, we've had to rethink how to best design reporting and insights for a better user experience. We launched the Insights page last year to provide you with the context behind why automation is performing the way it is, and amongst the levers that you have control over, how you can use those to better optimize your campaign performance. You can think of the Insights page as the destination, the single place for you to understand the market and performance fluctuations. As I mentioned, Performance Max campaigns don't require the same level of manual inputs as traditional campaigns. And on this slide, I'm hoping to help illustrate the connection between actions you may used to be performing or pieces of data you may used to have to seek out, and the corresponding insights that can be found on the page that automatically surface in your account and in your campaigns to provide you with this information and more. Whether it is an insight on a competitor entering or leaving your auctions and that affecting your campaign's performance, or an upcoming uptick in demand for a category that we're identifying as relevant to your business, and it could be an opportunity for you to grow. The Insights page is the single place for you to gain a better understanding into what is happening without that data aggregation, manipulation, and potentially referencing multiple reports that you may have done before. And what is most exciting is that a lot of this data and information and insights that we're surfacing on the page is actually brand new to Google Ads and information we never provided to you before. So to date, we have a collection of insights for your Performance Max campaigns. And your campaigns are eligible for all the ones listed here. It is important to note that insights are generated daily, so definitely refer back to the page on a regular basis to see the latest and greatest. And the insights are also surfaced based off of performance fluctuations, as I mentioned before, and then also fluctuations in the larger marketplace. This means if we identify a change in your performance, you may see an insight explaining what happened. If there are larger trends or forecasts we see specific to categories you advertise on, you may see these in search trends and demand forecasts. Entering into your Performance Max campaign and selecting the Insights page, which is located directly below your Recommendations tab, you may find any of the following. So as I mentioned previously, Auction Insights is where we are surfacing fluctuations in your performance that we can tie to a competitor entering or exiting your auction. Performance drivers show you which asset groups and potentially, if it's relevant to your business, which product or product groups are driving performance changes. We have diagnostic insights, which actually show why your ads may not be serving. We have audience persona insights, which help you understand which Google audiences are over-indexing in interactions with your campaign. We have consumer interest insights, and these are higher level themes of all the search terms your ads are showing for. And then we have search trends and demand forecasts, which are actually found at the account level, so relevant for more than just your Performance Max campaigns. But these help you understand current search demand happening in categories relevant to your business, and then also upcoming ticks in demand that we're forecasting to happen that you can take advantage of for growth. And we're working hard to continue to bring you more and more insights to the page over the coming months. And I wanted to highlight one I'm most excited about and I think is really relevant for Performance Max campaigns in particular. You should be focused on the levers you have control over. And we're also focusing on insights that give you more information to inform those levers, like Asset Audience Insights, which is currently in a closed beta, but should be rolling out to all Performance Max campaigns soon. These insights allow you to see who has the propensity to engage with your assets. So you can identify which assets are best resonating with which audiences. You can use this information to generate new assets that attract these highest performing audiences for your campaigns. We're really excited for you to experience what else we have in store for you. Next, I'm going to hand it off to Priya, who's going to talk through some reporting.
Thanks, Carly. Great. So earlier in the presentation, we touched on how Performance Max campaigns interact with other campaigns in your account conceptually. And you can also find insights on how Performance Max campaign is contributing to overall performance by reviewing the Google attribution reports. So essentially, you have the top paths report, which you can segment by campaign type to see where in the conversion journey Performance Max fits in relative to other touch points. And thus visualize the true value that Performance Max is driving to your account in terms of driving eventual conversions. If you segment reports by network, you should see Performance Max represented there as cross network. So this is a new concept. We're launching it specifically for Performance Max. So you should be able to segment by network and see cross network. And a best practice for Performance Max campaigns and generally otherwise as well is to leverage data-driven attribution. So what you can enable by doing that is allow automation to respond to where value is being driven. So if a touch point is not directly leading to a conversion, but down the line is leading to a conversion, having that visibility helps for you to sort of visualize how your campaigns are contributing to performance. But by using data-driven attribution, it can also inform smart bidding and automation to actually drive more of the touch points that will lead to an eventual conversion. So that's definitely a best practice, and would definitely encourage you to review these attribution reports as you're evaluating performance overall. And then in addition to that, this year we plan on launching a suite of A/B testing tools for Performance Max that help you measure performance uplift. So you're probably also familiar with a lot of A/B testing tools that have existed for other campaigns in the past. For Performance Max, we're building tools basically from scratch. So, for example, now we are beta testing a new A/B experiments tool that helps you measure the performance uplift that Performance Max campaigns provide when they're added as a complement to your existing campaign mix. And other campaign types such as search, display, discovery, etc. So like I mentioned earlier in the presentation, the best practice is that you should be running Performance Max as a complement to your existing campaigns in the account. And so it's a little hard to sort of evaluate the value that Performance Max independently is driving, given that a lot of the campaigns can participate in similar auctions. And so this tool can help sort of rigorously test that and measure that performance uplift for you. Please note that while the tool today supports all campaign objectives like lead generation, online sales, and store goals, it does not support Performance Max campaigns that use a product feed or a GMC feed just yet. So this is something that we're looking to build into the product over time. The screenshot that you see up on this slide is what a typical summary report would look like for this tool. So your control group in the experiment would have your comparable performance driving campaigns, and your trial group would have all of those campaigns plus Performance Max. And so at the end of a typical experimentation period, you can measure the if the experiment arm, if the trial arm that had Performance Max in it was able to drive more performance for your account, and if it's coming in at an ROI that you feel comfortable with. So that gives you sort of an overarching view of how your entire campaign mix is performing for you. For those of you that do use Performance Max campaigns with a product feed or a Google Merchant Center feed, we will launch an A/B testing tool to conduct head-to-head testing between Performance Max versus standard shopping campaigns, which is probably the other tactic that you use to drive online sales and purchases on your website. So you'll be able to see if running Performance Max instead of your regular shopping campaigns or your standard shopping campaigns are able to drive performance that's on par. And then in future, we're also looking to launch tools that help you test uplift from making optimizations to your Performance Max campaigns. So very similar to how you have campaign experiments for your search, display, and other campaign types, making changes to your bidding strategy or your assets or other components of your campaign, and being able to sort of measure the incremental benefit to performance by doing that is something that we want to enable within A/B experiments. So lots of exciting updates to come in the experimentation space, and we'll be sure to bring those updates to you. If you're interested in participating in any of these A/B experimentation betas, be sure to reach out to your Google Ads reps or our support teams, and they should be able to route your requests to us. So with that, I'm going to turn this over to Rodney to walk us through other new enhancements.
Hey everyone, hope you're all enjoying the session so far. So far we've heard from a pretty big group of our experts on the Google Ads team around Performance Max and lots of best practices and lots of exciting feature launches. So hopefully this is useful for those of you that are thinking about running Performance Max campaigns or are currently running Performance Max campaigns and using these features. You should be able to maximize your results. So I just wanted to give a summary of some recent enhancements within Performance Max that were touched on today. So we are fully compatible now with Google Ads Editor. So you'll be able to bulk edit your Performance Max campaigns in Google Ads Editor if you use that tool. Also, we're compatible with Data Studio. So if you're feeding Performance Max campaigns reports into a dashboard in Data Studio, you'll be able to do that today. We also have launched placement reporting for those that are want to keep their brand safe and want to review the URLs that their ads have been placed against. We do have placement reporting, which will show any URL which Performance Max served an impression on. As well as that, Priya just touched on Performance Max A/B experiments. Really, really handy for making sure that we're measuring Performance Max performance correctly and are delivering incremental results. And moving forward, we'll expand to more use cases where you can even test new enhancements of Performance Max via A/B experiments as well. We're fully compatible with campaign management in SA360 now, and we are rolling out Floodlight compatibility over the next couple of months. And some advertisers should already see this. So for those customers that are using Search Ads 360, you should be able to start using that with Performance Max and Floodlight compatibility rollout over the next couple of months as well. So lots of exciting things that have recently launched and things that are coming up as well. So there was a lot of content today. We've gone through a lot, and you've heard from a lot of our experts. So I just wanted to summarize some of the key takeaways from today's session. So Priya did touch on this before. We are seeing at scale that customers are getting great results with Performance Max. On average, we're seeing a 13% uplift in conversion volume at same CPA or return on ad spend levels. So this is awesome news because we do have a new way for our customers to take advantage of Google Ads to its full extent by using Performance Max. So even customers that are running existing campaigns across search, display, YouTube, Discover, we are finding that customers that add Performance Max are still getting incremental uplift by leveraging the automation within Performance Max. So really good news on the performance front. Also, from a marketing objective front, Nicole went through Performance Max lead gen and a case study there where lots of lead generation customers are getting really good Performance Max where they're able to acquire quality leads at scale. And this is the first cross-channel automated campaign that we have for lead gen customers. So if your business is driving leads, then please do try Performance Max because we might be able to see some incrementality there. Amelie touched on Performance Max for online sales, and Performance Max is a key way for us to optimize towards purchase conversions and generate profit for your businesses. So smart shopping campaigns will have a migration, and you should join that session later today if you are using smart shopping campaigns, because that will be migrating to Performance Max eventually. And even if you're not using smart shopping campaigns, if you are a retailer, that session will be super useful for you to join as well. And then Megan touched on Performance Max for store goals. So Performance Max moving forward will be the premier solution to meet your offline marketing business objectives like store visits. So Lauren and Carly actually ran through some further enhancements with new customer acquisition goals and insights. So please do test out these new features. We have heard from customers that these two features were in high demand. So hopefully this is music to your ears that this is finally rolling out with Performance Max. So in terms of next steps, we would love for you to start a Performance Max campaign. Already we have a lot of customers using Performance Max, and we're getting great case studies as a result of it, which you probably see on our Think with Google website. And there are some best practices as well, which we ran through today. To summarize on a few of them, so for lead generation, do use lead forms, either the Google lead forms or lead forms on your website to capture more leads, and also use offline conversion uploads to make sure that you're giving machine learning the right signals and it's targeting the right auctions as well. For online sales, if you have a Google Merchant Center feed, definitely use that with Performance Max because that will enhance your performance even further. And similar for offline sales, if you have a Google My Business location, then please do use that with your Performance Max campaigns as well because it will enhance your store visits. Plenty of best practices in the box in number 2. So do reach out to your Google team for a best practices guide, and we will be publishing externally friendly best practices guides on our Help Center very shortly as well. And then again, new customer acquisition and insights and attribution reports, as well as A/B experiments is rolling out. So if you are an advanced user of Google Ads, do check out these features, because we are introducing new use cases and further enhancements in Performance Max to make sure that our advanced customers are able to drive more conversions with Performance Max. So I wanted to invite the speakers back to the screen because we do have a Q&A session, and thank you for everyone that submitted a question. So we do have some time to discuss some of the questions. Apparently we have hundreds of questions, so unfortunately we won't be able to go through them all, but we'll touch on as many as we can in the remaining time. So Rama Chaudhary from Essence asked, can keyword exclusions be done from a Performance Max campaign?
I can take that one. Hi, Rama. My name is Priya. So since we're talking about keywords, I wanted to spend just a minute, again, reiterating how Performance Max campaigns and search campaigns interact today, just so that's clear, and then we can get into the exclusion space. So just to reiterate, if the user query is identical to a search keyword that you have in your search campaign, the search campaign will trump Performance Max. Performance Max will only serve instead of your search campaign in any auction if your search campaign was not eligible to serve in that auction, and that may happen because of targeting constraints or because you ran out of budget. And if the user query is not identical to any existing search keyword, it comes down to ad rank in terms of which campaign serves in that auction. Now, all of that said, you may want to ensure that you're not appearing on, say, competitor queries, or you may have auctions that you don't want to serve ads through your Performance Max campaign because there are legal constraints against showing for certain auctions. So for all of those use cases, we will be launching negative keywords at the account level. So your question specifically was if you could exclude keywords at the campaign level, but what we're looking to launch externally is account level negative keywords that will help you focus on queries that matter the most to your business, while also allowing you to maintain brand safety. And so these account level keywords will apply to campaigns beyond just Performance Max, but they will include Performance Max. And it'll make it easier to manage all of your negative keyword exclusions from the same place, essentially, instead of having to apply these to individual campaigns. So hopefully that should increase user experience and sort of improve your ability to manage this across campaigns. So more to come there. We will be announcing this externally once the product is good to go, but coming soon.
Thanks, Priya. Exciting launches that will allow us to do that. So looking forward to it. Saga from Spotify, this is a good question. Can we please get better insights into channel performance for PMax, like if display network is driving good results, or the ability to opt out of certain channels, like if we know that display doesn't perform well?
I can take this one. Sagar, thank you so much for this group of questions. I'll take it one at a time. So first, regarding channel performance breakouts, PMax focuses on your goal and driving conversions towards that goal. By providing automation with the broadest set of options, PMax can see which channel and format can deliver the highest value conversion at the best marginal ROI at auction time. Because our systems are aiming to maximize conversions or conversion value, depending on what you choose, at the campaign level, we've actually found that looking at your average CPA or ROAS for traffic below the campaign, for example, at the network level, can actually be misleading. So as I mentioned during the insights section of today's presentation, with the new insights and reporting we're introducing with PMax, we're aiming to draw attention to the most useful data for making decisions with insights and actionable recommendations. And so as I walked through, we launched the Insights page to provide you with context around what's happening with your campaign and with information around the larger marketplace. Something to mention that's related to this channel breakout request is that we also have a new insight planned for toward the end of the year called Attribution Insights. And this will help you understand how many touch points a consumer or how many touch points it took to get to a conversion within your campaign. So be on the lookout for more details there coming soon. And then lastly, regarding your question on opting out of a specific channel, Performance Max automatically will opt you out of auctions that don't perform well, and then will by default optimize towards those auctions that do perform well.
Thanks, Carly. So automation's got your back and should be automatically optimizing towards conversions, and some exciting insights coming as well. All right, so next question. Jorge from Lenovo in the US. How do Performance Max campaigns interact with other existing campaigns? Is the way to verify that PMax campaign isn't pulling traffic away from other campaigns?
I can take that one. Thanks, Rod. And thanks, Jorge, for the question. I touched upon this a little bit in the presentation too, but essentially, for the most part, Performance Max campaigns will only serve instead of your other existing campaigns if its ad rank is better, and Performance Max campaigns are more likely to drive you the conversion. Performance Max campaigns are solely looking to drive conversions for you at an efficiency that makes sense for you. If your existing campaigns are likely to drive that conversion, Performance Max won't serve. And like I mentioned, there is the one exception. That's how search campaigns and Performance Max campaigns interact. When you're looking at performance for Performance Max campaigns, we do recommend measuring performance at the campaign level holistically and evaluating if adding Performance Max actually improved your overall conversion volume and your if you have a CPA or a ROAS goal, then at the account level, does adding Performance Max to your overall program, does that improve your CPA or ROAS or not? And that's really the goal with a lot of the tools and reports that we've launched. If you think about the attribution reporting or the A/B testing tools that I mentioned. And on that note, the A/B testing tool, it's a holdback experiment for precisely that reason, because what we're trying to see at an aggregate level is that when Performance Max campaign is added to your existing campaigns, when the whole program performs holistically, what is the uplift in performance versus when you do not have a cross-channel campaign like Performance Max running in the mix. So the goal of this tool specifically and some of our reporting is to really be able to see the benefits that a cross-channel automated campaign is driving, and if it is able to find you opportunity that you currently do not have coverage in with your existing campaign types. So hopefully that should give you more insights into what you're looking to achieve.
Thanks, Priya. So the next question from Nadia Zabrans in Mexico. Is it recommended to exclude brand-related keywords, and why not?
Yeah, I can take this one. Thank you for the question, Nadia. So it is not recommended to actually exclude brand-related keywords from Performance Max, because Performance Max will find more converting customers for your goals and drive more value from your budget, even if those brand keywords are on your search campaign. So if your brand search campaign can capture them, then Performance Max will. That being said, I'd explained earlier about Priya, Performance Max will not trump on exact or brand match keywords from your search campaign. So if you are your brand keywords directly in exact or brand match in your search campaign, then in that case, the search campaign will win the auction. So it's really up to you. So you can put like all your brand keywords directly into your search campaign and put them into the exact or brand match. But if you're really looking to have like more conversions and also drive more value for your budget, we do recommend to also optimize your Performance Max campaign and to not exclude any brand keywords.
Good advice. Thanks, Emily. So next question from Julian from Kariba Media. Is it recommended to create Performance Max campaigns for new Google Ads accounts? What are the best practices to create a Performance Max?
Thanks, Rod. I can take this one. So it is recommended to create PMax campaigns in existing Google Ads accounts, as Performance Max will learn from the existing campaigns that have already been live. This will lead to a faster ramp-up time and allow us to maximize conversions quicker. We ran through a lot of best practices today, so hopefully that helps as well. One key takeaway is to always set up the right goals to target Performance Max and set up values so our machine learning knows what to focus on. And if you're using lead gen marketing objectives, make sure to set up offline conversion import to drive quality leads.
Very good. Thank you, Nicole. So yeah, add your PMax campaigns to your existing Google Ads accounts. And if you don't have an existing one, then Performance Max will still work well and you can create that in a new account too. So we have time for one more question. Should it be a good practice to combine PMax campaigns for lead gen and for store goals? In my particular case, lead gen is our main strategy. We have an important amount of store traffic too.
Yeah, I can take this one. So any goal that is relevant to your business can and should be added to your Performance Max campaign. So if you have lead gen goals and offline goals, you can absolutely add them both to the same campaign, and Performance Max will do the work to serve the ad that's most relevant to the user and optimize your returns across Google channels. The only scenario where it might make sense for you to create two different Performance Max campaigns is if you have separate budget per goal. So if you have a specific offline budget or lead gen budget, you wouldn't be able to control those budgets within a single campaign. So you would want to break it out for that reason. And same for if you had separate creative assets and budgets associated with those assets per goal. But other than budgeting, yes, you can absolutely add them to the same campaign and should do that.
Sounds good. Thanks, Megan. So everyone, thank you so much for joining the live stream, and thanks to our experts for joining today. I hope everyone got some good value out of this. We're really excited about Performance Max and the results that we're driving for you all. So please do continue or do start a Performance Max campaign and try out some of these best practices and tweaks that you can do. And we hope it drives great results for your business. So thanks again for joining, and hopefully hear from you soon.